I'm Toddling Dafferlin, and thanks for watching this Sun TV News Alert. Alboyne Williams, the former senior police officer who was shot 3 times during a money transfer from Sunny Food Supermarket in Five Keys, is still in hospital recovering from gunshot wounds. Williams, who is now a partner in a security firm, was robbed by 3 masked men of an undisclosed amount of money around 1:37 p.m. on Sunday, April 10th. The men got away in a white car and then slammed into a green Jeep before escaping on foot. According to police spokesman Kevin Clark, William is in a serious but stable condition. Clark told Sun TV that 2 men are presently in police custody assisting with investigations. Up to the time of compiling this report, the men were not charged and police were still looking for the 3rd suspect. News of the shooting sent shock waves across the country. William, who is better known as Bookie, spent many years in the police force and is a very popular citizen of the Turks and Caicos Islands. Several police officers responded to the scene and they searched vehicles that were approaching and leaving the area. This caused long lines of traffic to be backed up. In May 2015, another former police officer, Calvin Monty Lightbourne, who is also a security officer, was shot while making a deposit at Scotiabank for one of the country's top supermarkets. A few years ago, an off-duty police officer was shot while he was making a money drop at CIBC First Caribbean Bank. In other news, Beaches Resort and Spa is back in the headlines again. This time, the controversy involves taxi drivers who have accused the hotel of discriminating against some of them. The taxi drivers staged a protest outside Beaches Resort last Saturday. They claim that while any taxi driver can take passengers from the airport to beaches, the hotel only allows certain taxis to take the guests from the hotel to the airport because they charge them less for departures. Sun TV interviewed one of the taxi drivers, Ariel Gray, who spoke passionately about what's taking place.
More and more taxi analysts, I see more women coming out here trying to get a job. And it seems like only persons that the government want to please is the hoteliers. And personally, I had enough of this. This is how we support our family. You know what is interesting? I have seen this government go on a Saturday and pass the dog law, the potcake law. But I'm not important enough. You understand? I'm not important enough. My family is not important enough for the governor or the government or Rufus Ewing or Charlene Cartwright or the Attorney General to take time and say, I'm going to fix this for Turks and Caicos Islanders. I'm fired up. I am happy to see more Turks and Caicos Islanders coming out here and trying to make it, and you should see them. Get a bunch in their step, happy to be working for themselves because they're tired of putting up at what's going on around the resorts. And all we are saying to the government and the powers to be is to make this right. Just make this right. Enforce the law. And if there's flaws in the law, fix it. That's why I went to the poll and stand 8 hours in a line to elect somebody to fix these things. They take time with everything else. All right, I can't go and buy a single cigarette now. They took time to fix that. This is how I feed my family. And every elected official out there, my name is Ariel Gray. And I know there's been time when you guys talk about if we protest, you're going to revoke our licenses and suspend us. Well, go ahead and revoke me. But I will not be silent. I will not surrender until this is fixed. Thank you.
Sun TV also spoke with taxi drivers Derek Hall and Earl Barranco, and here's what they had to say.
There's in fact a list of selected taxi cab drivers that can be entered onto Beaches property to transport their guests from beaches to the airport. Being that we are a free enterprise means that we are taxi cab drivers, we are paid the same fees and we have the same qualifications, same rights as the other taxi cab drivers that are on their property to transport people to and from the hotels and to the airport, and from the airport to the hotel on a first-come, first-served basis. This is actually law, and this now is being shown to be in breach of this law. Upon my arrival, I spoke to one of the security guards, and I was told that I'll not be allowed on the property as normal. I said, is this something that's just for today or is this a regular practice? She told me that it's not a regular practice, but it's today, in fact, that you cannot be allowed on unless you are on a list. I then asked her, which list is this? She said, the list that I hold in my hand. So I'm saying, you saying that there's a quota for the list of people that can come on the property? She said, yes. So I'm saying, I'm not a part of that selected list? No, you're not. You would have to now be moved off from the property, or other things will happen to you, or you have to be deal with the law. So I said, all right, ma'am, no problem. Now, this in fact shows that we told you before that they have a certain selected amount of people that can be on this property, which is called from a contract. These people are now in breach of the law, according to Section 86 of the ordinance. It states that you cannot have a lower price to come on the property. We also have a letter from the PS itself stating that undercharging is actually going to be prosecuted now. It's actually prosecuted law. It's actually been built and it's been passed that you cannot undercharge. This is obviously an infraction. Now we have the police out here, and it seems as if they're being very much threatened by it. I also saw the GM, Mr. JJ himself. I asked him personally, I said, sir, can I get a job out here today? He turned his back to me. He did not want to answer because they know that they're in breach of it. This is unfair to us as taxi cab drivers, and we're not going to sit down and take it anymore. We're tired of it. The government needs to do something about it, and until they do something about it, we're going to continue this type of stuff here until we get justice, all right? Is it justice or just us? That's what we want to know.
This is wrong. It's definitely wrong. The law states that it's wrong. On the book, you have a copy of it. And the PS now, because we were, the hotelers were telling the government and all others that we were overcharging the guests. So we, sometimes that was true because we didn't have the price list. But now all of us have a price list in our van. And we start to argue about undercharging. Since they were talking about overcharging, we started talking about undercharging. And this is one of the incidents right here where Beaches is undercutting the rate that the government set for taxi drivers from the airport to Beaches and from Beaches to the airport. We get the correct rate from the airport to Beaches. We get that. But we as taxi drivers cannot go in there and receive the $13.50 that is on the price list to come and take the guests from Beaches back to the airport. The preferred list persons, I don't know what they're getting, but they're getting less. So therefore, they are in breach of the law once again. We just not, I mean, in breach of the law. We are saying to Beaches that they are discriminating against us as taxi drivers. Why? Because we have to pay the same things that those taxi drivers inside the preferred list pay.
Well, that's it for now from Sun TV News. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Toddleen Defferlin.